My name is Natalie Brake, and I'm with the YMCA of Greater Indianapolis. I've worked with kids from newborns all the way up through teenagers and working with their families. The YMCA of Greater Indianapolis is one of the nonprofits here in the greater central Indiana area that is changing lives in our community. And we change lives by being a force of positive change in the community. And we focus on 3 areas: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA is connected with the United Way of Central Indiana as a partnership because the United Way of Central Indiana brings together compassionate people who are committed to improving lives within our community. So the United Way is able to bring in different organizations, different nonprofits, and different community members who have the same goals. And their ultimate goal is to help every single person in Central Indiana achieve and maintain self-sufficiency. So the goal is to help others be able to help themselves. And there's 4 areas that the United Way concentrates on for these goals. And those are education, health, income, and basic needs. So I like to focus on the education part because that's really near and dear to my heart with my service in the YMCA. And one of the education itself is the best path out of poverty for our families here in Central Indiana. And it's also the most influential factor in reaching self-sufficiency. So the United Way and other organizations that they work with look at education through several qualifiers. And you can look at on-time high school graduation rates. You can look at 3rd graders who are reading on grade level. And you can also look at kindergarten readiness. So there's ways to evaluate where these students are at all points of their journey of education. And I like to take a look in my position. We look a lot at kindergarten readiness. So kindergarten readiness, what it means is that a child comes to kindergarten prepared to learn. They're at the right level of their education. And that's social skills, cognitive skills, and all of those put together. So a lot of students go to preschool and come out of preschool relatively prepared to start kindergarten. However, if you are a student who's learning English as a second language, if you have a physical or a sensory disability, or if you come from a low-income family, you're already at risk to be starting kindergarten unprepared. At the YMCA here, one of the things that we're doing is we're working with some of our English as a second language families. And I want to tell you a little bit about one of our students whose name is Manraj. Manraj is a 4-year-old in our program, and he is an absolute joy to have. His mom came to us prior to them coming to our program because he is learning English as a second language. He does not speak English at home. And she was very concerned. The first few preschools that she went to had a lot of reservations or flat out told her no, that they couldn't work with him because of the fact that he didn't speak any English. And we assured her that 1, we'd definitely be willing to work with her, but 2, that we would make sure to work together between the family and the teachers for that. So we really engaged Manraj through art, which is one of his favorite things, and then through swimming. Swim lessons are a very big motivator for him. He's been with us now for almost a year. His first sentence that he said completely in English, he said in his swim lessons, and it was "jump in." Because at the beginning of swim lessons, they always ask, "What's it time for?" Time to jump in. His first unprompted sentence in English, the first one that he said completely on his own, was when we were taking a walk outside and there was some goose poop on our path. And being preschoolers, everybody saw the goose poop, and that became the topic of conversation for the day, was this goose poop. And we started talking about the fact that the goose poops and they poop, and of course every kid in the class was then like, I poop, do you poop? And Manraj pulled on my dress and looked up at me, and his first sentence was, "Dogs poop outside." And it was amazing. The other teacher and I are looking at each other and trying not to jump for joy, but doing it inside because he had come so far through working with us. The other example that I'd like to mention is a 2-year-old in our program who has speech and developmental cognitive delays. So he's already been identified, he's working with therapists, and his therapists are working with our teachers at the Y to be able to give him a better advantage so he can possibly start kindergarten ready to go. He absolutely loves paint, and he loves playing in the water. So they use a lot of water and sensory things with him. Right now, he's jumped just in the past month with working with us from knowing 15 words on a consistent basis to 35. And he's trying very hard. His favorite word right now is school. And that 2-year-old is my son, Logan. So it's very dear to me that we have organizations that are willing to work with these families to get them on the path of education and to get them towards self-sufficiency. So I think with the YMCA, our partnership with United Way is so incredibly important to our YMCA and our ability to serve these families. The United Way is a key partner not just for us, but for so many organizations, so many agencies in the central Indiana area. And it's only through our partnership with United Way that we're able to make a difference in our community. I wanted to leave you guys with a quote from Barbara Coloroso, who is an internationally known author on parenting and teaching, and she says, "If kids come to us from strong, healthy, functioning families, it makes our job easy. If they do not come to us from strong, healthy, functioning families, it makes our job more important." And right now we have a very important job in central Indiana to help our kids and to help our families get this education and get on the path to self-sufficiency. So I personally support the United Way campaign, and I invite you to join me to support the United Way, but ultimately to support our community, to support kids like Minraj and Logan, and to support the future that they are going to bring to central Indiana.